Facts and Humans, Episode 3. Let's do this, YouTube. I've come to realise that some of the most interesting people I've read about this past 6 months don't always have the most factual of lives. I expect that going forward, some of what I say as fact may be surrounded in mystery or folklore. But at the end of the day, that's what made these people amazing, and so I'll include it in here. So here we go, Episode 3, and this episode is all about Edward Teach, or Edward Thatch, or as most people knew him, Blackbeard. Little is known about him in his early life, which I know is a great way to start a factual-based video. Working back from his death, it is estimated that he was born in 1680 in Bristol. The spelling of his surname is one of many debatable topics. You've got Teach, Thatch, 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 Tack, Tack, Thatch, and Teach, and Drummond. Bristol at this time was the United Kingdom's second largest city and a major seaport, which is where you'd be right to presume he got his love of the ocean. He was an educated child, and from documents found after his death, could most certainly read and write. He sailed to the Caribbean, and here we have the first mention of him in 1716 while sailing under the renowned pirate Captain Benjamin Hornigold. What a surname. It was Captain Hornigold that gave him command of his first ship, a sloop 6-gun with about 70 men under him. After Hornigold's death, Teach set out on his own. Less than a year later, during 1717, Teach and his crew of pirates attacked and captured the French merchant ship La Concorde. Nailed it. Teach converted the vessel to a pirate ship, adding 40 guns and renaming it the Queen Anne's Revenge. After attacking and capturing the merchant ship Margaret off the coast of Crab Island, the ship's captain, Henry Bostock, who was released unharmed, swore to an affidavit on his return of his experiences, and in the write-up described Teach as a tall, spare man with a very black beard which he wore very long. This is the first mention of his appearance, and after that time he became known as Blackbeard. Blackbeard embraced the image that the newspapers portrayed of him. Before battles, he would put lit fuses in his hair, which would spark and smoke as he attacked his enemies. He knew people feared him, and if the ships knew it was him on board, many merchants surrendered before a single cannon had been fired. At the height of his power, during 1718, Blackbeard put a flotilla blockade around the port of Charlestown in the province of South Carolina. Over the next 6 days, 9 ships attempted to enter the port, and all were ransacked by Blackbeard's men. Blackbeard was known for being extremely good to the people he captured, but at times the same could not be said for the men who served under him. On one occasion, with his debts mounting, he marooned 20 of his men on an island, so that his cut of the profits would be that much higher. In June 1718, he received with his now much reduced crew a pardon from Governor Eden. For the next couple of months, it seems he led an honest life. Some report that he married a local plantation's daughter, though there's nothing concrete to back this up. Governor Eden showed trust in Blackbeard and gave him the status of a privateer. This was mainly given to pirates to try and keep him out of trouble. He was allowed to keep his last sloop and renamed it Adventure. However, by the end of August, he was back to piracy. Blackbeard was now a wanted man, with no chance of a second pardon coming his way. Lieutenant Robert Maynard of HMS Pearl was given command of 2 vessels and the orders to capture Blackbeard and his crew, dead or alive. Maynard hunted the pirates down and found them anchored by the inner side of Ocracoke Island on the evening of the 21st of November. At daybreak, the battle started, and here again there is a number of accounts of what happened. Some say small arms fire was exchanged before the Adventure ran aground. Others say it was in fact Maynard's vessels, the Ranger and Jane, that ran aground, though Maynard's reports don't mention this. But then, why would you admit to this if you had won? What is certain is the Adventure did turn and fire first at Jane, and this attack was devastating. The Adventure then boarded the Ranger and was surprised to see just a small grouping of men, including Maynard, at the stern of the ship. Maynard had in fact hid his men below deck as he suspected a boarding, and now they sprang out and into the battle. Blackbeard was shot 5 times and slashed at least 20 before he took his final breath on the deck of the Ranger. The rest of his men quickly surrendered after seeing their captain die, and the battle was over. Blackbeard's head was taken from his body with a very sharp knife, and was attached to the front of the Ranger. The rest of his body was thrown overboard, and legend has it the body swam around the vessel 3 times before sinking beneath the waves. And so brings us to the end of the 3rd episode of my Facts on Humans series. I do apologise for such a wait in between each episode. However, if you think of anyone you feel I should research and do one on, please leave a comment below. Also, if you find yourself bored in your job, it is said that Blackbeard has treasure buried on a number of islands. Though nothing so far has been found, many treasure hunters are still looking to this day. Thanks for watching all.